Hey, Shalom. We'll get started here in just a few moments. All right. Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Chakwadash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father. His true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh. And his son's name, who the word in the call Jesus Christ, real name in the Hebrew is Yahushua. Also give praises, honor, and glory unto the Yahweh Chakwadash, the Holy Spirit, which is the force and entity that makes this edification possible. I want to say shalom to all you sincere-hearted Akim, Wa'akwat, that's you brothers, and few sincere sisters. Make your bodies a living sacrifice on a daily basis in this wicked and adulterous generation. I also want to give double honors unto our beloved apostle and elders of Great Millstone, who taught us this truth and who rule well. And I'm the brother Osman Wath here from the Great Millstone Dallas camp. All right, coming back this morning, okay, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah, to go back into the book of Psalms, the 105th chapter, as we believe we left off this past Friday at the 7th verse. So we'll pick up from verse 7 and Lord willing get through verse 15. And as you can see the title, it says, "Touch not mine anointed, do my prophets no harm." That's right, man. And this comes from the 15th verse, which we'll get in this lesson at some point. This comes from the 15th verse in this psalm. And yeah, man, because Yahweh Shema Shah, okay, has great care for his elect. He has great care for his prophets, man. And as we read the scriptures from the front to the back, okay, we see how the Lord has, made providence, for his men, for his anointed, okay, for the prophets. And he's reproved many kings, many nations for their sakes, and also through them. And he's doing the same thing in these times now, man. All right. And once Esau starts to touch the Lord's prophets, once he starts to touch the Lord's men, that's when the holy hell is going to break loose upon this place, man. The Lord's going to lift up that standard, and Yahweh Shah himself is going to personally intervene. All right. So, with all that being said, Lord willing, this lesson will be edifying and comforting unto the Lord's elect out there. All right. And shalom, to you, Akim Aqua, tuning in this morning. Barakar Tawab, Yahweh Shema Shabakatham. All right. And, yeah, brothers, if y'all got any precepts, feel free to, put them on up here on the comment board, Baba Kasha. All right, so yeah, let's get back into it. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 105, and going back at verse 7. Oh yeah, once again, remember Psalms 105, I believe like the first 15 verses is literally, pretty much like word for word, as we can read First Chronicles, the 16th chapter. I believe, verses 8 through 22. First Chronicles 16, 8 through 22 is, it mirrors Psalms 105, 1 through 15, which, what was the backdrop of that in First Chronicles 16? That was when King David was rejoicing after he recovered the Ark of the Testament, or the Ark of the Covenant, either or, from the hand of the Philistines. He put it inside of the tent that he prepared for it. And so yeah, this is a psalm of thanks, man. All right, which we should always, stay in that spirit of gratitude and spirit of thanksgiving, okay, as it's a sacrifice, and the Lord is pleased with it. So this is Psalms 105 and verse 7. It says, "He is the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Shah, our power. His judgments are in all the earth." Verse 8, "He have remembered his covenant forever, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations." Let's read that again. It says, he have remembered his covenant forever, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations. That's right, man. And see, okay, these wacky tacky Christians, as our beloved elder Apostle Gabar, had coined them, wacky tacky Christians. Okay, well, they want you, well, they have, they have these people, really under the persuasion that The Lord, he's not a man of his word, and he forgot the covenant, you see, that he commanded for 1,000 generations. And what covenant are we speaking about? The covenant that he made with our forefathers, man. The fathers of promise, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And even the covenant that he made with King David, man. All right, in 2 Samuel, the 7th chapter. You see, but the Lord is not a man that he should lie. And the Lord put his name, all right, let's grab this here in the book of Hebrews, the 6th chapter. The Lord put his name on it because he could swear by no one greater than himself. All right. And we know how, high the Lord has regard for his name. As a matter of fact, let me get this first in Psalms. I believe it's Psalms 130. Is it 130? Let's see here. Maybe 138. Yep, here we go. Psalms 138 and verse 2. It says, I will worship toward thy holy temple and praise thy name for thy loving kindness and for thy truth. Ooh, man, that's beautiful. See? And that's another reason why we should especially really be praising Yahweh B'Shem Shah. Why? Because he gave us his truth. And that is linked with his loving kindness. All right, it says, for thou hast magnified thy word above all thy name. You see? And once again, we know how of a regard the Lord has for his name. But scripture says that he has magnified his word above his name. You see? And the Lord, okay, he made promise, okay, with Abraham, with Isaac, with Jacob. Hebrews chapter 6 and verse, let me grab it here in the NLT. We'll start at verse, what verse do I want to start at? We'll start at 13. The point is in verse 17. Let me pull it up. Hebrews chapter 6 and verse 13 in the NLT. It says, for example, there was the Most High's promise to Abraham. Since there was no one greater to swear by, the Most High took an oath in his own name, saying, I will certainly bless you, and I will multiply your descendants beyond number. Then Abraham waited patiently, and he received what the Most High had promised. Now, when people take an oath, they call on someone greater than themselves to hold them to it. And without any question, that oath is binding. The Most High also bound himself with an oath. See? His word, which he magnifies above all his name. The Most High also bound himself with an oath so that those who received the promise could be perfectly sure that he would never change his mind. You see? So this is going back to what we just read in Psalms 105. Says he has remembered his covenant forever, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations. That's right, man. You see why? Because he put his name on it. All right. And the Lord, okay, he's not going to have his name, okay, taken lightly. You see? Hebrews 6 and 18 in the NLT. It says, so the Most High Yahweh has given both his promise and his oath. These two things are unchangeable. Yeah, you can read the promise, okay, in Genesis 12, okay, and the Lord, finally makes that oath in Genesis the 17th chapter. You see, Genesis 15 and Genesis 17. Abraham, made that sacrifice in Genesis the 15th chapter, and the Lord confirmed it, okay, and gave us the token of that promise, the token of his word through what? The act of circumcision. You see? So it says, verse 18, so the Most High has given both his promise and his oath. These two things are unchangeable. All right? Unchangeable, man. So that's what these scriptures is talking about. It's talking about the nation of Israel. It's about the Lord's, interactions with his people. All right? This everlasting covenant, this everlasting promise. And it's unchangeable. It says these two things are unchangeable because it is impossible for the Most High to lie. Therefore, we who have fled to him for refuge can have great confidence as we hold to the hope that lies before us. And that's why we're able to even have this hope that we have in 2024, okay, in the midst of, shit hitting the fan. Because why? The Lord is not a man that he should lie. And he has remembered his covenant. And he sent forth his son, Yahweh Shai. He sent forth that seed, man. Okay, you can read about that in Galatians the 3rd chapter. He sent forth that seed. All right, to set us free. You see? Psalms 105 and verse 8, it says, he have remembered his covenant forever, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations, which covenant he made with Abraham, and his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law. And that is tracking that chosen lineage. Okay, these are the sons of God. All right, and and the inheritance rights came all the way down to Abraham. Okay, and it just didn't stop with him. Okay, after Abraham had 8 sons. All right, and out of those 8 sons, okay, the Lord chose Jacob, man. So like the Lord chose Isaac. You can read about that in Genesis, what is that? Genesis, the 18th chapter. So continue to read verse 9, which covenant he made with Abraham, and his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law. Yeah, and when you read the book of Romans, the 9th chapter, okay, the beloved Apostle Paul is saying these are the children of the Most High. All right, those that descend from Jacob, which are us so-called blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans, which are the Israelites. And we've been scattered into the 4 corners of the earth. So, the Israelite foreigners as well, man. All right, that look like the other nations, but their line goes back unto Jacob. It says, and he confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant. You see, everlasting means forever. All right, lasting forever. Point blank, period. No way around it. Verse 11, saying unto thee will I give the land of Canaan, the lot of your inheritance. Yeah, that's right, because that's what the land of Israel was called, before we came into it, before the Israelites came into it. All right, it was called the land of Canaan. Why? Because you had the Canaanites living there. All right, that whole region from the Nile to the Euphrates. All right, let's grab this real quick and see what is that. All right, this is Genesis 15. Genesis 15 and verse 18. This is after Abraham had made that sacrifice. And the Lord, he came into covenant with the Lord. Genesis 15 and 18. It says, in the same day, Yahweh made a covenant with Abram, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river of Salakia, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. Yeah, that's also known as the Levant region, which that's the garden, east in Eden, man. And that's where Adam ruled out of. That's where the garden was, man. You see? And that land was always designed, well, the Lord created that land, okay, for us. You see? But right now, heathens are having possession of it. They cast it out for Lot, particularly Esau, Edom, these small headers, man. And that's why Yahweh Shai is going to, do renovation over there by fire. You see, he's going to clean that place up and once more plant his people back in that land once and for all, forever. And that's going to be the headquarters. You see, specifically Jerusalem. That's going to be the headquarters, okay, of our land. But really, the whole earth was promised unto us. The whole earth was promised unto Abraham. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can find that, because the Lord told Abraham to look as far as his eyes can see, and all that's going to be his. Let me see if I can. I believe it's in Genesis. Is it Genesis 12? Let me find it real quick. Just bear with me. Okay, let's see. Maybe if one of you brothers can find it, but basically the Lord told Abraham to look as far as his eyes can see. you know, and that's going to be his. You know, so the world was promised, you know, unto us. All right, but that chosen land, okay, from the Nile River to Euphrates, okay, that's the best piece of land up on the earth, man. All right, dang. Let's see. That's all good. If I can't find it, maybe a brother can find it for me. But yeah, let's go back here. Okay, yeah, okay, kind of. Hey, the water up. Yeah, brother Tazadot, Hebrews 4:12, put it up. Let me turn to it in my Bible, Genesis 15, kind of water, bro. Genesis chapter 15 and verse 5. Let's start at verse 4. It says, Behold, the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto him, saying, This shall not be thine heir, but he that shall come forth out of thine own bowels shall be thine heir. Yeah, because when the Lord, you know, told Abraham that he's going to have a son, you know, Abraham, you know, he's like, okay, well, I guess it's just going to be Eliezer that's going to possess, you know, all my possessions. That's going to, you know, that's going to get these promises. And the Lord said, no, it's not going to be him. All right. It says he's going to come out of your own bowels. Verse 5, it says, and he brought him forth abroad and said, Look now toward heaven and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, So shall thy seed be. And he believed in the Lord, and he counted it to him for righteousness. And he said unto him, I'm the Lord Yahweh that brought thee out of the Ur of the Chaldees to give thee this land to inherit it. Let's see. Okay, no, that wasn't it. I thought it was. Let's see. It's all good. We'll find it before we end this lesson. But let me go back to Psalms. It's like, yeah, we'll find it before we. I was thinking that was it. It's gonna bother me. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Yep, that's it. Genesis 13. Genesis 13 and 14. It says, okay, it's tripping. Yeah, this is, let me just turn to my Bible. Genesis chapter 13 and 14, it says, verse 14, it says, And the Lord Yahweh said unto Abram, after that Lot was separated from him, Lift up now thine eyes, and look from the place where thou art northward, and southward, and eastward, and westward. So he told Abraham to look in all the 4 cardinal directions. All right? And check this out, verse 15. For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever. You see that? All right, so, but that chief land, the chief piece of land is from the Nile River to Euphrates, okay, the land of Canaan, okay, but the Lord told Abraham to, hey, man, ultimately this whole earth is yours, you see? Let me get one more in Romans, the 4th chapter, just to prove that, just a little bit more, Romans chapter 4, and I believe it's verse, let's see here. Romans 4 and 13 in the NLT. We'll get it. It says, clearly the Most High's promise to give the whole earth to Abraham and his descendants was not based on his obedience to the Most High's law, but on a right relationship with Yahweh Bashim Shah that comes by faith. You see? And that's how it's going to be given. It's going to be given. This inheritance is going to ultimately come through, promise, not through our perfection in the law. Okay, but the point I wanted on that was that it says clearly the Most High's promise to give the whole earth to Abraham. See, 2nd Ezra 6th chapter. For the world was made for our sakes, man. See? But why do we not possess, an inheritance in it? Why? Because the Lord gave these heathens a little dispensation of time to rule, also known as the time of the Gentiles. But we're at a close to that, man. You see, the Lord's about to close that up. And the whole earth is going to be restored Okay, back into Eden, back into paradise, man. You see? And it's going to be governed and ruled by the sons of God. All right, starting with Adam. Okay, the second Adam, which is Yahweh Shai. All right, so going back to Psalm chapter 105 and verse 11, saying, unto thee will I give the land of Canaan, the lot of your inheritance, when they were but a few men in number, yea, very few, and strangers in it. When they went from one nation to another, from one kingdom to another people. Yeah, you could read, you could read in the book of Genesis, Exodus, and then Joshua and Judges, how we were just going from nation to nation, man, pilgrims, strangers in the earth, just as we are today. You see? But the Lord, he had his hand over us the whole time, protecting us, okay, keeping us. It says, verse 14, he suffered no man to do them wrong. Yea, he reproved kings for their sakes, saying, touch not mine anointed, and do my prophets no harm. That's right, man. And it makes me think about Abraham and Isaac. How Abraham thought that that the king of Egypt, or Pharaoh at the time, wanted to have sexual relations with Sarah. So he said, man, she's just my sister, because Sarah, she was very beautiful. So Abram at the time, he knew that, like, if he was to tell them that, hey, this is my wife, well, they'll kill him, you see, and take Sarah. But he said, this is my sister. So she, and I believe you can read that account in like Genesis. We're not going to read it. Genesis, let me just tell you the chapter. It's Genesis Yep, Genesis, yes, in Genesis 12. As a matter of fact, we'll read a little bit. Let's read that, man, because this is a prime example of how the Lord reproved kings for our sakes, for our forefathers' sakes, and for our sakes ultimately too. It says, Genesis 12 and verse 9, and Abram journeyed, going on still toward the south, and there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn there. For the famine was grievous in the land. And it came to pass, when he was come near to enter into Egypt, that he said unto Sarah his wife, behold, now I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon, meaning you're very beautiful, you drop dead gorgeous. See, all of our women back then, they had hair. You see, they own natural hair. They was beautiful skin complexion, curvy, all right, just built to perfection, man. All right, and these other nations, these other men of these other nations, man, they were drooling after our women. You see, it says, verse 12, therefore it shall come to pass, when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, this is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will save you alive. Verse 13, say, I pray thee, thou art my sister. So Abraham is telling Sarah, just say that you my sister. Technically, really, he wasn't lying. Because they are, we're all kin, we all come from the same stock, but he was just using, wisdom. Verse 13, say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. And it came to pass, when Abram was down into Egypt, the Egyptians beheld the woman, that she was very fair. The princes also of Pharaoh saw her and commended her before Pharaoh. And the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. And he entreated Abram well for her sake. And he had sheep and oxen and he-asses and men servants and maid servants and she-asses and camels. And the Lord Yahweh plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarah, Abram's wife. You see? Hey, and I'll say this too, for brothers that got particular, wives, that may be a part of the elect, because scripture speaks about the elect through her man, through Abram at the time. So verse 17, and the Lord Yahweh plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarah, Abram's wife. And Pharaoh called Abram and said, what is this that thou hast done unto me? Why didst thou not tell me that she was thy wife? Why saidst thou, she is my sister, so I might have taken her to me to wife? Now therefore behold thy wife, meaning here, take her back. You see, you got my whole, you got my whole household plagued. You see? He says, now therefore behold thy wife, take her and go thy way. And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent him away, and his wife, and all that he had. You see? So that's just one example out of many. Okay, the same thing happened with our forefather Isaac, man. Same scenario. There's a famine that came to the land. Okay, and then the Philistines, basically Isaac said the same thing to the Philistines, but then one day the Lord, Isaac was, he was, as a matter of fact, Isaac was, he was, getting touchy. He was getting kind of, intimate, with Rebecca, and the king of the Philistines, he had seen that. I believe his name was Abimelech. He saw that. And he was like, bro, like, this is your wife. How come you told me that she's your sister? And let's just read it real quick. Genesis 26 and 1 in the NLT. Like, literally the same scenario that Abraham went through. Genesis 26 and 1 in the NLT. A severe famine now struck the land, as had happened before in Abraham's time. So Isaac moved to Gerar, where Abimelech, king of the Philistines, lived. The Lord Yahweh appeared to Isaac and said, do not go down to Egypt, but do as I tell you. Live here as a foreigner in this land, and I will be with you and bless you. I hereby confirm that I will give you all these lands to you and your descendants, just as I solemnly promised Abraham, your father. I will, because your descendants, I will cause your descendants to become as numerous as the stars of the sky, and I will give them all these lands, and through your descendants all the nations of the earth will be blessed. Let me skip down here to verse 7. When the men who lived there asked Isaac about his wife, Rebekah, he said, she is my sister. Same thing Abraham said. You see? So he says, she is my sister. He was afraid to say, she is my wife. He thought they would kill me to get her because she is so beautiful. See, man, hey, our foremothers was beautiful women. All of our women, of all the tribes, man, was just drop dead gorgeous. Hey, Salaki, give me 1 second. All right. So yeah. So it says, verse 8. But sometime later, Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out his window and saw Isaac caressing Rebekah. Immediately, see, and let me get that in KJV. In KJV it says, and it came to pass when he had been there a long time that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out at a window and saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah, his wife. You know how Jake be, we be playing with our women sometimes, That's what Isaac was doing, man. All right, and Abimelech saw that. Verse 9, immediately Abimelech called for Isaac and exclaimed, she is obviously your wife. Why did you say she is my sister? Because I was afraid someone would kill me to get her from me, Isaac replied. How could you do this to us? Abimelech exclaimed. One of my people might easily have taken your wife and slept with her, and you would have made us guilty of great sin. Yeah, and you best believe that, they knew. Okay, just like in the time of Abram at the time, Genesis, as we just read in Genesis 12 chapter, reports of that was heard. Man, his father, had the whole household of Pharaoh plagued, because Pharaoh took, Sarah. So, Abimelech, knew that the Most High was dealing with Isaac, man. You see? So he felt some type of way. Like, how come you didn't tell me, bro? Like, you trying to get us plagued too? All right, verse 11. Then Abimelech issued a public proclamation. Anyone who touches this man or his wife will be put to death. You see? So, we just got 2 examples out of many. It's a lot all throughout the Bible, man, of how the Lord reproved kings for our sakes. He says, touch not mine anointed and do my prophets no harm. You see? And the minute Esau, okay, in these times, starts to put some of the Lord's, prophets to death, okay, well, hey, you best believe this place is going to be plagued on a level it's never seen, man. You see? And the Lord's going to lift up that standard. Yeah, let me get a few out the comment board. That completes Psalms 105, 7 through 15. But I'm gonna get a few out the comment board. Gotta get ready for the job. Second Ezra's. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I see the brother put it up. Yeah, the water for putting up Genesis 26 up. Brother Tazadok, the water. Let me see. Get a few. Yeah, I grabbed this one. Deuteronomy 32 and verse 7, it says, remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. And how do we do that? By ultimately, going back into these different accounts in the scriptures, man. See? Knowing that the Lord doesn't change. See, and just as he, protected our forefathers, protected the faithful, okay, of our forefathers, man, he's going to protect us too, as long as we're faithful unto him. All right, verse 8, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam. See, the sons of Adam, that chosen lineage. All right, going all the way down to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It says, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. That's right, man. See, Yahweh Shah is going to come back and personally bring us back to that land, the real Israelites. See? So, yeah, man, hey, that's the point. Hey, if the water for the scriptures out, for you Akim, I put up scriptures. Hey, Shalom once again to all you Akim Aqua that tuned in. All right. So, yeah, man, the Lord willing, you were edified. Until next time, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Hakodash. I want to give double honors to our beloved apostle and elders of Great Millstone, the Waffle of Ball, Shalom.